Friday with a high 58 degrees, mostly sunny Saturday with a high 54. What's going to forecast today? Partly sunny skies, high near 53 degrees.
Springtime is around the corner, and it's time to plan your spring project. Whether it's flowers for the yard, an outdoor furniture set, or perhaps you need a new mower or trimmer, ABC Finance is here to help. Locally owned and operated, ABC Finance specializes in loans from $500 to $12,000, with decisions usually within an hour. Walk-ins are welcome. Go to abcfinanceonline.com or stop by our location at the Princeton Plaza in Princeton. Also, like ABC Finance on Facebook.
The votes were cast, and ABC Finance Company was once again voted the best of Western Kentucky. Hi, this is Todd Morris at the Hopkinsville ABC Finance location.
And this is Savannah Seymour at the Princeton location. It's truly an honor to receive this recognition, and we appreciate all who voted for us.
We would also like to extend a huge thanks to our staff who make it happen every single day.
Need cash fast? Walk-ins are always welcome. Like ABC Finance Company on Facebook and visit our website at abcfinanceonline.com.
I got mine at Audubell.
I got mine at Audubell.
I got mine at Audubell.
I got my hearing aids at Audubell.
As a psychiatrist, I have to listen to my patients very well. And Audubell gave me my ears back.
And they've really changed my life.
I've been wearing hearing aids for 50 years, and Audubell is by far the best hearing aid.
I'm Donnie Baker, helping you hear well at Audubell.
Call Audubell for your free hearing test, 554-1900.
Your local McDonald's wants you to know that they're ready to serve you for breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the drive-thru. They're offering curbside pickup service as well. To avoid the wait in the drive-thru, you can download the McDonald's app and try curbside pickup. They appreciate your patience and understanding during this time. We're all having to adjust. It's temporary, but in the meantime, enjoy breakfast, lunch, or dinner at your local McDonald's.
Are you looking for room to grow? Whether it's a building for storage, office, or retail, Easy Portable Buildings offers insulated, finished, and climate-controlled options. They offer all types of buildings, from a simple storage building to your customized tiny home and everything in between.
Hi, this is Tommy Taylor. If you're looking for a quality product and a dealer that'll stand behind it, come see me on Skyline Drive in Hopkinsville. Whether it be used or new, I bet I've got something that'll work for you.
Easy Portable Buildings. We build opportunity.
West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction holds monthly auctions at the Auction Center on U.S. Highway 62 in Princeton, in the former Hancock's grocery store. Be sure to check their website for dates and times and listings of auctions and days at the Auction Center. WestKentuckyRealEstate.com has all of their upcoming auctions listed. If you would like to have an auction or would like to find out how to consign at an auction, contact West Kentucky Real Estate and Auction. Wayne Boyd, broker auctioneer.
With YourSportsEdge.com, you get more coverage of your favorite teams, athletes, and sports.
Lets me know the student as a whole person.
With no page limits or subscription fees ever.
It means exposure for the local high school athlete.
A new look and a new feel, no matter where you are.
Even if I'm out of town, I have it on my phone.
It's always available right at your fingertips.
Round-the-clock coverage of local athletes.
High school sports coverage the way it's supposed to be.
I love what they did with the website.
Download the free app now. YourSportsEdge.com.
It's time for your SportsEdge.com Sideline Report with Todd Griffin. Talking sports and more here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY and worldwide at WPKYonline.com. Here's your host, Todd Griffin.
Good morning, everyone. The Sideline Report is on the air from 1035 West Main Street in Princeton. This is Todd Griffin of YourSportsEdge.com and WPKY Radio. Thanks for tuning in this morning. For the first time in a while, we've got a full house in the studio today. First of all, we want to welcome in Tiger basketball coach Daniel Kukihiko. And Daniel, thanks for coming in this morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Also with us, Jay Breon Spikes, the second region player of the year and a Mr. Basketball finalist. Jay Breon, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Tori Hammond is here as well. And Tori, we've got a couple of things to talk about. First of all, the tennis team. We'll get to the West Kentucky Hoops Classic in a little bit, but how are things looking for the Caldwell County tennis teams right now?
Yeah, it's been pretty good so far. We've had some early success and also played a few tough teams that gave us some trouble, so it's been good both ways.
Steve Kukihiko is here with us as well, and another tennis coach. And Steve, I hope we've had the coldest tennis match already, because I was out there one night and it was like 38 degrees.
I'm unsure about that right now, Todd, but we'll see in the next few weeks how it goes from there.
Well, how are things going, and where's the regional tournament for you guys this year?
I believe the regional's going to be held at Henderson again. I'm not quite sure on the place yet. Like Tori said, we've had some hiccups along the ways, but it's nothing to do with the kids. I mean, we played some quality teams.
Yeah.
When you take Hopkinsville and McCracken County, one of the bigger schools around this area, and our kids are competing, and that's what I think we want to. Sometimes as a coach, you really want them to win every match, and sometimes it's unfortunate they don't. So, but they're doing well.
Again, we've got a full house today, and we're going to talk a lot of different things. Going to take a quick break here. Be back with more. Stay tuned. The Sideline Report continues here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Life is filled with moments. Moments we share with those we love, worry about, and strive to protect the most. At Woodman Life, we provide life insurance and retirement products to help protect you and your family so that you can enjoy all the moments to come.
This is Josh Ray, your local Woodman Life agent. Come see us at 1009 West Main Street or give us a call at 365-6111.
Certain eligibility and age restrictions apply. Woodman of the World Life Insurance Society, Omaha, Nebraska.
Get into shape and feel good at Trilogy Performance Sports. Trilogy offers a wide range of family-friendly classes as well as personal training, yoga, gymnastics, sports training, cardio, and weightlifting. Trilogy has something for everyone. Trilogy now offers an app with online workouts, live classes, nutrition tracking, and more. Search Trilogy Performance Sports in your app store. Use sign-up code 1824. For app info and more, follow them on Facebook.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Are you struggling to afford health care or medications? Let Health First help you. Whether you are insured, uninsured, or underinsured, you will still be cared for at Health First Community Health Center. We offer financial and prescription assistance to all those that qualify, which is based on income and household size. Contact our office at 1-877-667-7017 for more information, or visit our website, healthfirstchc.net. Same-day appointments and walk-ins are welcome. At Health First, your health is our first concern.
Hello, I'm Matt Shaw. Please vote for me for the office of District Court Judge in 2022.
Matt is a family man. He and his family are residents of Caldwell County. He is conservative, honest, trustworthy, and moral. Matt Shaw is hardworking and wants to put his legal experience to work for the community.
A judge needs to have common sense and good judgment, helping the community, protecting the community, being fair and just, and maintaining the integrity of the court. That's what I plan to do.
When you cast your vote for District Court Judge in May, mark the box next to Matt Shaw.
Paid for by the campaign committee to elect Matt Shaw for District Court Judge.
Back on the Sideline Report here at 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Again, we've got a full studio today. Daniel Cookie Hicko is here. Jabrion Spikes is with us this morning. Tori Hammett and Steve Cookie Hicko all in the studio with us. And want to get back to the tennis for just a minute. Tori, how do you guys kind of go about deciding who's playing singles and who's playing doubles later on? And at this point in the season, what are you guys kind of trying to figure out with your tennis team?
Yeah, so on the boys' side, Billy Wallace and Graydon Miller, well, first of all, they're seeded. Kids are seeded based on their skill set, and then they have the opportunity to challenge ahead. So, I guess we set the seeds, and then they can challenge accordingly. So you can beat your way to the top if you can beat the kid in front of you. So ultimately, you determine your own spot by whether or not you're willing to challenge and whether or not you can win that match. But Billy and Graydon had some good success last year in doubles, and went to the state as the number 2 doubles. So Jordan Hammett graduated, so Billy and Graydon slid right into the number 1 doubles spot, which is really good for them. They've had some tough matches already, won some, lost some, but that's good for them because they'll have an opportunity to. In our region to do really well, and I think they will do really well. And then Ryan is playing singles only, primarily just singles only. He's the one singles, and likes that better anyway, so that's good for him. But then I believe Nick Adams is will play singles for us. He'll be our 2 singles. And then Bryce Thompson and Cannon Littlejohn right now will be our number 2 doubles. And then, of course, we have Kason Littlejohn, Cameron Maroney, and Noah Bailey also on our team. And Noah's young, just getting started. Cameron's, primarily soccer player, but doing really well in tennis. And Kason's coming along. He's still just a freshman. So good group of kids. They work hard, and we'll have a lot of success in our region, I think. So try to repeat over there. We'll see.
Well, who's kind of the biggest competition for you guys as you look for that repeat?
I think in our region it would be Madisonville, North, and Henderson. We've had some. I mean, for whatever reason, there's a few teams. Kind of what Steve was about to allude to a minute ago. That just numbers are down. So it's really weird. The guys' numbers are down a little bit. So we've reached out to play McCracken. You'll play McCracken the other day, and I think we went 2-6 against them or something like that. So had a couple wins. Ryan and Graydon won their matches, and still looking at maybe another 1 or 2, but played the Paducah homeschool kids, which they're really good, and so that's just good for them because they just don't have as many matches in our region.
Steve, how nice was it to go down to Paducah and play inside at McCracken County's indoor facility?
Well, I mean, it was obviously pretty good to go down there. I'm not sure we got the results that we wanted. But, yeah, it's always nice to go to a facility like that, when you can, parents and coaches can stand up on the top floor, I guess, and just look down over the courts, and it's pretty cool.
How close are we to the Kukihiko Indoor Caldwell County Tennis Center?
As soon as Mr. Roach signs the document, I think we're heading in that direction.
One thing I wanted to bring up, Tori last year was one of the nominees for State Coach of the Year. Steve, how did that kind of come about?
Well, I mean, I don't really know. I think it had a lot to do with the success the boys had, in my opinion. Obviously, we don't get much recognition down this part of Kentucky and up there, but yeah, it was well deserved, obviously, with the group of boys we got. And it doesn't matter about our tennis team. We look at it as we're still young, but we're a little experienced too. And I think all sports have that. Maybe it's a good problem to have. And even on the girls' side, we don't even have a senior yet, and that's good. And of course, on the boys, Tori's already alluded that we have Billy Wallace and Bryce Thompson. So those 2 young men have been in the program for a while, and the success that they've had and continue, hopefully this year, will be a better improvement to our tennis program.
Well, and Tori, it doesn't hurt when you go up to Lexington to the state tournament and people see your kids play.
Yeah, I mean, they put some weight on getting to see them and seeing who they've played, and maybe a little tournament here or there. Ryan's played some tournaments, so he's got a little more of a score than some of the kids do that don't play tournaments, but. Getting kids, facilities are important. That'd be my plug for class sports. I'll make that plug real quick for class sports because it is not equitable. But trying to get kids to consider not just being a in-season sport player only, that's difficult, and that's generally why we stay kind of in the middle of the road in certain areas. But historically, back from Coach Farmer and Coach Janina, man, they set a high standard for tennis, and people being interested, cheerleading it, pushing it is a big help, and Caldwell's got a good reputation for that. We were thankful. Steve stepped in a huge spot last year to help pick this up because I couldn't have done it by myself. So kudos to him for being willing to do that and help the kids. The kids love him. So to me, it's a perfect fit. We kind of like each other, so it's pretty nice to have him alongside to do that together. So we're making some good memories for sure.
Well, you bring up the class thing, and we could probably do an entire show on that, and I'm not even sure the 5 of us in this room would have the exact same opinion, but maybe we'll get there one day.
Right, maybe.
Well, I want to move to basketball now, and of course the West Kentucky Hoops Classic is a ways off, but I know you're already well into the process of getting that thing lined out for December.
Yeah, administration, Coach Daniel, give me a lot of flexibility. So that's pretty cool because I can just be out here running with it, and I enjoy it. You know, we've talked about that before. It's a lot of fun. I enjoy recruiting teams and trying to convince them why they should come here versus going somewhere else. And then we have great players like Jay Brion here in our own town that get to participate in that and give them a look at something different maybe than what they're getting, you know, just in the mundane schedule of their regions and districts and stuff. So it's a good time, and our schools embraced it. They've given us, like I say, a lot of flexibility. So it's pretty loaded up next year. I mean, I think it'll be our best lineup ever. So we'll see. Certainly the most states we've had at one time.
Yeah, Daniel said maybe 8 states represented this time. Is that right?
Yeah, it's 8, and he I try not to bother him too much because I know he's busy with administration as well as basketball and his own family. But 8 states from all around. I mean, Florida. Let's just name them: Florida, Georgia,
North Carolina, Virginia,
Mississippi, Tennessee. 2 from Tennessee, and then Kentucky. So 8 separate. Illinois. So eight states at one time, and it's going to be powerful.
Who are some of the schools coming in, and what kind of players you got with those schools?
Yeah, so we're Daniel's been helping orchestrate us getting the contracts from our deals that we have out there. So some of them are signed contracts and back, some of them are not signed contracts and back. So there's always the chance that somebody would fall out that for some reason. Actually, I've swapped Georgia teams already to the good. I was a little down, but we've done better.
Okay.
So we're gonna have some good kids coming in, but we're gonna have Hamilton Heights, Tennessee, and Winston-Salem Christian, North Carolina. Both those will be good schools with some good kids, a couple 7-footers. That'll be in our gym, and then Fairfax Christian, Virginia. We've talked about them. They're loaded up. They only lost, I think, 1 kid that contributed, and then some that are Biggersville, Mississippi. They're the 2-time Class 1A state champion, and they're solid. They'll be good again. Bradenton, Florida, called and they actually solicited us to come here, so we checked them out. Think they'll be a good addition as well. And then of course our Caldwell teams, and we're still trying to work out the connection with Lyon County to get Lyon County here for that game, and their girls are going to play here as well. So we have the Biggersville, Mississippi is bringing their girls as well. Caldwell girls, Christian County girls. I feel like we got Bartlett, Tennessee locked in. They just lost in their state tournament. They'll be loaded up. They're real good. Sandy Creek, Georgia, East St. Louis, Illinois. And they just a lot of these teams have participated in their state tournament and or won it. So there won't be any teams that can't play. So hopefully we'll have some killer matchups.
Well, the 2 Biggersville teams that were here this year both won state championships this year. Yeah.
They did. They the same coach. It's never been done in the state of Mississippi where a coach wins boys and girls.
Yeah.
And it happened twice this year. 2 different teams in Mississippi. Coach won basketball and the girls basketball at the same year. It's kind of crazy that worked out. But yeah, Coach Cliff is excited. When we asked, Daniel and I talked when we asked him back. He knows he's going to be a little bit down, but he's pretty committed with getting them back to where they were. So I think they'll compete again for the 1A state championship, and he's looking forward to it.
Which team was it had the coach that ordered the pizza on the sideline last year? Do we need to get them back?
Was that Lee, Alabama? Lee Montgomery, Alabama? Yeah, I guess he's resourceful. Again, diverse, multi-talented, pull 2 things off at once, and yeah, and honestly, I think they won. I think they beat Murray that night.
Yeah.
He's ordering pizza and they're beating Murray. That's a tough call on Murray, though. We talked about that as well. We asked Murray to play the first game of the day and the last game of the day.
Yeah.
But it probably helped. It probably gave them a good perspective to see what, they went a long way.
I was going to say, season ended up pretty good for them.
Yeah, I would think they probably look back on that and go, we probably let that game go, but it was probably good for us. Because Lee was big. Lee was big and physical. And so it was probably a good experience for them to have to get through a little.
Kind of felt like all the games in the Hoops Classic this year were kind of that big physical kind of basketball. I mean, I guess it's just because you brought in some teams that had some big physical kids.
Yeah, and good opportunity to say thank you to to our Region 2 refs, because they I thanked several of them. I don't know many of them, but I know a few of them, and I thanked them because you could create problems if you want to call things close, and it's good for an event. Well, I think in general, I don't like it to be called close, but it's nice in an event like that to let the kids play a little bit. For a physical player like Jay Brown, that's a benefit.
Yeah.
If you start calling everything time he touches people because he's physical, man, your best players won't be able to play. So they let them play. I thanked them for it, and it's going to be their kids are going to be. This is a bigger roster. These are bigger teams and bigger rosters. So we want to have that again for sure.
Well, and when you've got a game every hour and a half, you want to keep things moving. Yeah.
Right. We do kind of tie it in. I've requested another game a day this year.
Oh.
We're not going to do it, though. But I did request it. You know me, man. I want it all. Let's do it all.
Well, Daniel, talk about the fundraiser this is for the basketball team and the school athletic department. And, man, this has really turned into a really big event for you guys.
It is. Yeah. I think I've said this several times. When Coach Thomas and I kind of brainstormed, we just wanted to get a few more home games. And then here we are, 8 years later, and it's turned into just a really good event. Props to Torrey. It's almost before our season's even over. He's already looking ahead. We want to get this team, and it's just really cool what he's been able to do, and getting these teams to come here. But like you said, it's a fun couple of days. It's a long couple of days, and it takes a lot of work from a lot of individuals in our community. Just never ceases to amaze, and the support that they give. But it turns out, every year we've added. Last couple of years we had kind of HR ministers came in and did the breakfast. This year we had Goose Givens there, and obviously on the court we kind of remember what he did. But as far as a speaker and what he spoke into these young men was second to none, and he has the credibility that they seem to listen to him.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just pretty cool deal.
Torrey, do you have anybody lined up yet for breakfast speaker this year?
We don't. I kind of given that over to Harold through some of those connections that Max Apple has, being the chaplain at UK. So I haven't really tried to get in the middle of that. So we kind of letting them orchestrate that, and they do a good job at it. And he's got tons of connections to find that, like you say, somebody that the kids can recognize or have been there where they are and can speak into them. And I agree with Daniel. We don't mandate, we can't mandate that the teams come to that, and every team doesn't come. And it's a little bit of a grind because, they're getting up in the morning, come for breakfast, and then they got to turn around. Some of them got to turn around and play. So, but I've yet to see a team that looked like they didn't enjoy being there, and I've had several coaches say how appreciative they are to be there. So that's a great piece to step in there, and we are thankful, one, that our administration lets us include that, but two, that HR Ministries funds that. Like, that's a great, I use that as a benefit to recruit teams, but it doesn't cost us anything other than some of our time. So that part's pretty cool to have, and we're thankful for that. And just 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, I was talking with Coach Newton Mealer out of Jones County Community College. Now he coaches at Jones Community College. He was at Center Hill. And he just unsolicited said, I was talking to him about something else. He just unsolicitedly said, hey, I've told that story a bunch of times about coming down there to that, or coming up there to the Hoops Classic and that breakfast event that y'all had. He said, that's the best thing we've ever done. And he said, I'm telling you, that stair-stepped us into winning the state tournament that year. And he said, matter of fact, if you ever need a speaker, you call me, I'll speak. I said, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So,
and that's one of the better games of the tournament, that Center Hill and what was it, the Oklahoma team?
Sapulpa? Sapulpa, Oklahoma.
Yeah. That was one of the better games we've had in the Hoops Classic since it's been going. So, well, we can get a player's perspective. Jay Breon's sitting right here. What's kind of your thoughts on the West Kentucky Hoops Classic, and was that something you guys kind of look forward to playing in?
Oh, man, I loved it. The experience, just the whole community coming out basically and just supporting the event and just getting to play in front of them. I mean, the energy is just different from a normal basketball game, so it's really a good part to be around.
Well, and somehow Caldwell always ends up with a couple of tough games in this thing.
We've talked about it. I've told Daniel. They've lost some games out there in that. But, man, that's some of the best games they've ever played. I don't know if they see it in front of them and go, oh, shoot. I'm gonna have to play. But I think they've played some of their best games. I mean, well, this year, Line was on the ropes. I mean, we had them on the ropes, just a bounce here or there, and we win that game and probably deserved to win that game that day. It just slipped away from us. But I can't remember all the opponents, but
we got Arlington this year.
Yeah, got Arlington this year
overtime.
But I've seen us play some great games there. And it does seem kind of like Jay Brown said. It's just the energy level seems like man, I might have to I got to get it. So we've looked good out there.
Well, I know you guys have to run, Tori and Steve. But Steve, what's coming up for the tennis team, and what are you guys still working on to keep moving forward this year?
Well, first of all, we need good weather. I mean, it starts with that, and then obviously tonight we play Lyon County here at home, and then we play Hopkins Central. Friday at home, and then next week it's just like Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. I mean, from now on. I mean, till the region starts. So, it's good weather would obviously help, and get a couple of good wins under our belts. It gives the kids confidence that they can go into the next match and compete as well.
Well, good luck to you guys the rest of the season, and work on getting us some good weather.
All right, we'll try to do that. That indoor facility would work then.
Yeah, right? that'd be awesome.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate y'all.
Todd. That's Tori Hammett and Steve Cookie Hicko from the Caldwell County tennis team. Daniel Cookie Hicko and Jay Breon Spikes are going to stay with us, and we'll talk with them more when we come back. Stay with us here on the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Cozy Living Interiors and Boutique.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, partly sunny skies today with a high 53 degrees, mostly cloudy tonight, low 39. Clouds on Friday with a high 58 degrees, mostly sunny Saturday with a high 54. What's in our forecast today? Partly sunny skies, high near 53 degrees.
Trice Hughes has been serving Western Kentucky for over 60 years. Their experienced sales force, ASE certified techs, and all the friendly folks at Trice Hughes have worked to become your family's exclusive automotive dealer. The home team that's kept our families safe on the road for generations. From work to play and everything in between, your home team has what you need. Stop by and drive the difference. Our home team, Trice Hughes, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Goodwin Insurance Agency and Woodall Agency have great news. Effective January 1st, they have joined forces to provide even more options for all your insurance needs. Together, they provide the best prices and coverage from top-rated insurance companies and insure all lines of insurance. See Tori Hammett or Fred Foltz, or go to insurewithgoodwin.com for more information. Don't pay too much for your insurance. Let them shop for you and save today.
This is the Sideline Report on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Again, thanks to Tori Hammett and Steve Cookie Hicko for coming by today. Daniel Cookie Hicko still in the studio with us, as is Jay Breon Spikes. And Daniel, I think we had our limit of Coach K's in the studio this morning. I think 2's the limit.
2, yeah.
You guys recently went up to the state basketball tournament. Kind of tell me about that trip.
It was a good trip. A lot of good basketball you get to see. Obviously, there's some Western Kentucky teams. Murray and Lyon County were up there and made it to the second round and played some good basketball. But to see the teams that you don't normally get to see are the ones that you see their scores or the different parts of the state. Pikeville, who we haven't seen before, and George Rogers Clark, who wins the state championship game on a kind of 43-42. It was there's a lot of good games up there, Lincoln County, and just a cool experience. And obviously, this was a little more. I think I was talking with the coaches and Kayla as well on the way up, our way back. This was a little bit different going to this tournament because Jay gets recognized up there. You get to see him walk across Rupp's court, get recognized as a Player of the Year, and then on Sunday go to the Mr. Basketball banquet and celebrate him. Again, so it was just definitely the best state tournament I've ever been to.
Jay Breon, talk about getting to go out on the court and be recognized, and had to be pretty sweet to walk out there on Rupp Arena's court.
Yes, I've never actually been on the court before, so it was different. I mean, I would have loved to play on it though, but yeah, it was definitely a good experience.
Well, what did you think of the action up there? Pretty good?
Yeah, it's definitely good to see that kind of basketball from the other side of the state and our parts of the state represented too. So,
well, guys, Lyon County kind of made the second region look pretty good.
They did. They played well. I'll tell you, the first game, and we were actually, don't tell anybody, we snuck down a few rows to get a little closer to the court. It was Coach Oliver, Coach Cash, and myself, just to kind of, get a little closer to the action. And extremely physical game. And Lyon County, met the match and got a win over John Harden, and then played another, kind of Covington Catholic the next game, and played them a really, really good game the next time. And Murray was the same way. It's really cool to see, just knowing that when you go into that state tournament, you're going to see a good game every single game. Like, you're going to see two different teams that are going to play at a high level, and just a pretty cool deal.
Was there a certain game that, Jay, you were recognized at, or did they bring all the region players out together?
Yeah, we all came out together. It was the first game of the Friday session. I forgot who played. So.
Yeah, talk a little bit about what Jay Brown meant to your team this year. You guys went 18-11, which is, with the way the second region was loaded up this year, is a pretty strong season.
Well, I've said this statement so many times. I've been asked this question so many times by just talking with, high school coaches and also college coaches, and they always want to talk about, how does he average, almost 31 points a game and 12 rebounds. And I'm like, listen, it's not as good as those stats are. What he brings and kind of person he is off the court is 10 times better than those stats. Don't get me wrong, those stats are good, but his character, his work ethic, and the position he's put himself in this year. And I always go back to, he's along with everybody else that's graduated in this class, they've been through the last 2.5 years of basketball have been just looked a whole lot different from their freshman year. And when COVID first hit, there was a couple of different types of players. Some players kind of waited for things to happen, and that's not what Jay Brown did. Got in the weight room, continued to work on his game, work on his craft, and I think this year was kind of the first year of the culminating event. I say first year because he's going to go to the next level and do some damage, but he kind of reaped the rewards of high school basketball this year from all the behind-the-scenes work that he had put in. And as far as what he meant to our team, leadership, was second to none. And I think the thing that I'm going to enjoy and that he's going to see, obviously he's not going to put on a Tiger uniform at Caldwell County anymore, which I'm sad about. But we still had a pretty young, inexperienced team with the exception of him. And those guys, are going to learn from him and, kind of carry that forward and pass it forward.
Jay Brown, what kind of goals did you have going into the season, and how would you kind of rate your season overall?
Going in, talked with the guys. We wanted to come out positive, and we wanted to contend just amongst our district and region, have a chance to go to state. And I feel that we actually overachieved some of our goals. Like, we wanted to be positive, but we almost had a 20-game season. So, I mean, it's just a blessing to have guys that bought in. So.
And you guys got off to such a great start this year, and then some injuries toward the end of the year, but you guys were really winning some games. It seemed like every time there was a close game earlier in the year, you guys were pulling that thing out.
Yes, sir.
Daniel, talk about that a little bit about the start to the season you guys got off to.
Start to the season was really, really good. And it wasn't because our schedule was a cake schedule. We played a lot of tough teams. We ended up beating. We got Marshall County, then we beat Christian County, and we were able to get Central a couple of times during the regular season. Just played a lot of tough games. We went to Owensboro and played McLean County / Owensboro and played in that Christmas tournament, and had just a lot of success just grinding it out. We weren't a team this year that was going to, if you look at our scores, whether we won or lost, they were all within probably about 10 points of each other, whether we won the game or lost the game. And I think that kind of defined who we knew we had to be going in. It wasn't going to be one where, even if Jay, put up 59 or 52 or 51, it was going to be a relatively close game. We're going to have to play a full game. And I think that it made us better going down, like you alluded to. Some injuries, Blake gets hurt and misses a significant amount of games, and then Colin goes down and misses a significant amount of games. And, it just takes time to, kind of overcome those and kind of figure some things out. And, depth we went a little bit deep this year. But, at the end of the day, I'm with Jay. I think to have 18 wins and, down the stretch kind of overcome some of the things that we did, definitely a good season.
Well, going into the year, there's no way you're expecting 31-12, right, out of Jay Brown?
Well, he exceeded our expectations. They were pretty high. We knew what he was capable of because we got to see it every day. And this summer, we played 10 or 12 games and played against some high quality. We played against Christian County, UHA, and those guys. And as we're playing against them, I remember Coach Cash and I sitting on the sideline. And the summer basketball is just different. It's I don't want to say it's laid back, but you do it. You may do a lot of things in the summer that you wouldn't normally do in the regular season. Of course, the format's usually different. But we're sitting over there and we're watching Jay play, and Coach Cash and I look at each other and just like, this guy's going to be really, really good. Like, we knew he was going to be good, but then watching him play and then, watching his progression, and then, we get him back there early in the season, and it's just like, wow, he's going to and after the Dawson game when he scored 51 and broke the record, Coach Cash and I, again, of course, Cash and I and coaches talk a lot anyways, but we were like, this is not going to be the record at the end of the season. He's going to break this again. And then, of course, he did it at Hopkinsville, and it was just cool to be a part of that. And I think another credit to Jay, and one of the things that he is, he's a pretty humble guy. I think, he would trade any amount of points for a win, and I think that's why he was such a special player to coach.
Jay, when you got the 51 over at Dawson Springs, did you know you were close to a record?
No, I actually didn't. And then I looked over at them, and I seen their eyes, and I was like, what am I at or something? But it was just was trying to win a game, and then I had a good first half trying to get the lead and trying to work other guys in so they could get some time. And then just ended up going that way. So.
Well, interesting thing, you hit a three-pointer to set the record, and then Daniel said later you were coming out the next trip. So that was a big shot.
Yeah, he had a couple of trips, and obviously you don't want to. We had the game well in hand. I think we were up 25 or something like that in the fourth quarter, and looked at the coaches, and I'm like, he better get on this possession. And he may have called my bluff. If he'd have missed that three, I'd probably let him in for one more possession anyways. But anyways, just proud of him for putting his name in the record books on that way.
Well, and Jay Brown, talk about the 59 over at Hopkinsville. That game was unreal.
Yeah, it definitely was a weird feeling. I mean, it's just one of those flows. I just got in and just kind of zoned into the moment. Wish I would have finished it out better, but it was definitely just one of those things. I just zoned into the moment, trying to win the basketball game, and it just went that way as well.
And that's a really good Hopkinsville team. I mean, they were in the regional championship game, so it's not like you were doing against a team that didn't have a chance to defend you and do some things, but just seemed like you were getting stronger and stronger as the game went along.
Yes, sir.
And if you think about that game, too, I'm not even sure Jay fully realized this until after the game. So at that point, we didn't have Colin. And we really played about 6 or 7 guys over the course of the season, pretty consistent. Some other guys jumped in there, but so at that point, Colin's out. At halftime, D-Man gets sick, and he can't play the second half. So now of the guys we normally put in the lineup, we've got 5 of 7 still on the court. And, so him taking over, and, Coach Babb, they did some things defensively. They sagged way off. They have some defenders that can play, and Jay just went right to the rim. And, to be down, I think we were down 17 or 18 at one point in the second half. And to have I think Xavier had a chance at the horn and got a decent look for a 3 to tie it. To be in that position when you're down 17 or 18 and down, 2 of your top 7 players that normally play the minutes, that's a credit to those guys on the court.
Well, and Deshaun Mercer was on you most of the night, and that guy's going to play D1 football probably someplace.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Jay Brown, as you go back and look through the season, what were some of your favorite memories, and maybe do you have a favorite game from this year? Was it the 59 or was it another game?
My favorite memories definitely were just being around this group. I think this year was probably one of my favorite years ever. I mean, from the start to the finish, our energy, our chemistry was, excellent in my opinion. Like, we actually loved each other. Every day at practice it was good energy level. just blessing to be around those guys. But my favorite game probably is actually the McLean County game. I kind of struggled that game in foul trouble, but I mean, I enjoy watching just other guys just pull it out and just fight through and win that championship. So
that was the championship game of the tournament, right?
It was. It was at the Sports Center, and it was in foul trouble early, and the other guys kind of stepped up. And that was another thing special about this team is we had some games early on in the season when we were on that winning stretch where different guys got in foul trouble, different starters got in foul trouble, and we were able to absorb that, and that was a good thing. And as they're talking about memories, I'd always heard in practice, and high school players sometimes goof off in practice. I don't know if you knew that or not, but after practice, they've all try to dunk and rip the rim off and all that good stuff. And in reality, most of them are just rim poppers. They can't touch the rim. But I'd always heard, I'd seen them do it a couple times in practice, and they actually got it down. And then I think it was the Dawson game at home, and we get a breakaway, and it was in the third quarter and early in the third quarter, and it set up almost nicely. We get a steal, and Collins out in front of the break, and I'm like, he's going to make the layup, and all of a sudden he throws it about 10 times harder off the backboard, and all of a sudden here comes Jay and hammers it home, and it was just it was pretty cool. Cool to watch right there.
Well, talked about having a great season, and obviously Jay is the second region player of the year. You were co-coach of the year in the second region. I mean, all those things, that just makes it a great season for you guys.
When you have a player like Jay, it makes a coach look good. I'll say that. But just credit to Jay and his teammates. I echo what he said. They were a fun group to coach, and obviously that we had 5 seniors that won't be a part of the team next year, but we bring a pretty good core back next year as well.
It was a fun group to watch for sure, and Jay Brion's the first second region player of the year from Caldwell County since Matt Fralix. And Matt Fralix is also the only other player in Caldwell County history to ever average over 30 points a game. So you start looking at historical, significance, and 31 points a game is pretty impressive, especially when you look at some of the players that have come through.
It is, and you look at, as I was sitting there, Jay kind of wasn't able to sit with us at the Mr. Basketball banquet. They kind of had all those guys sit together and young ladies, and they go out, and as the banquet's going on, I'm not sure what he saw, but they had several screens setting up. It was a very well-run event, and just every player had a player profile, had their stats on there, and Jay's stats were just as good, if not better, than anybody else up there. I think as far as points wise, there was I think Justin Becker from Robertson County had him by a couple of points, but other than that, he was right there. It's just really cool, to see how he stacks up against other players in different parts of the state, and yeah.
Talking this morning with Daniel Cookie Hicko and Jay Brion Spikes from the Caldwell County Tiger basketball team. We need to get to another timeout on the show, but we'll continue after this here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY.
Raider Auction Company, Hopkinsville, buys and sells farm equipment every day. Find out more at RaiderAuctionCompany.com. That's ROEDER auctioncompany.com.
From the Weather Edge Weather Center, partly sunny skies today with a high 53 degrees, mostly cloudy tonight, low 39. Clouds on Friday with a high 58 degrees, mostly sunny Saturday with a high 54. What's going to forecast today? Partly sunny skies, high near 53 degrees.
We can argue about the melty half slice of cheese or the creamy tartar sauce, but no one can argue that a fillet of fish could exist without the smooth, perfectly steamed buns that hold it together. Well, no one we want to know. Anyways.
Go all in today with a fillet of fish. Get 2 for just $6 and enjoy it with a $1 any size Sprite. Only at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Single item at regular price cannot be combined with combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Holly's a busy mom with 2 little ones and an aspiring high school athlete at home. Holly believes it takes a community to raise a child, and that's why she depends on Princeton Drugstore to help her when her family needs medical advice. Her friends at Princeton Drugstore deliver medications right to her door, free of charge. They save her trips to the drugstore by making sure all of her family's monthly prescriptions are filled at the same time. But most of all, they care about Holly and her family, and they have for well over 3 generations. Go to PrincetonDrugstore.com for coupons and details. Princeton Drugstore, standing the test of time.
With YourSportsEdge.com, you get more coverage of your favorite teams, athletes, and sports.
Lets me know the student as a whole person.
With no page limits or subscription fees ever.
It means exposure for the local high school athlete.
A new look and a new feel, no matter where you are.
Even if I'm out of town, I have it on my phone.
It's always available right at your fingertips.
Round-the-clock coverage of local athletes.
High school sports coverage the way it's supposed to be.
I love what they did with the website.
Download the free app now. YourSportsEdge.com.
Welcome back to the Sideline Report here on 1580, 103.3 WPKY. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Again, thanks to Tori Hammett and Steve Kukihiko for coming in and talking about the Caldwell County tennis teams and also about the West Kentucky Hoops Classic. Still with us on the show is Caldwell County boys basketball head coach Daniel Kukihiko and Tiger player Jabrion Spikes, the second region player of the year. Jabrion finishing 6th on Caldwell County's all-time scoring list and Daniel 10th on the all-time rebounding list. So, you know, I'm sure that's a pretty select group. I haven't looked to see who's just on those two, but that's pretty neat to be on scoring and rebounding top 10.
It is. I was looking at back from old emails. Actually, we had corresponded with just the records, and there's not too many names that find their way on the top 10 of both those lists.
Yeah.
So, pretty cool deal for Jay to, something that will hang around for a little while, as well as that 59 point versus Hopkinsville.
I can always remember the 59-point game because it was on my birthday.
Yep.
So I'm always going to, when somebody brings it up, when did the 59-point thing happen? That and Kentucky's 31-point comeback at LSU are both on my birthday. So
That's two pretty good birthday presents there.
Jay Brown, talk about your rebounding a little bit. Is it something you think about? Or are you thinking I need to go get boards, or do those things just kind of happen over the course of the game?
I'm just always hungry to get the ball back in our possession. So sometimes balls might fall in my hand. Sometimes I might do a little slick shoving. But, I always just try to go get the ball and try to get it to our possession. So,
well, is there a knack to rebounding, or do you just kind of give somebody a nudge out of the way and go get it?
I don't know. I think I've been just blessed with the ability to just read where the ball is going to go, and sometimes I'll beat the ball to where it's going to go, and it'll just fall right to me. So,
what is next for your basketball career? Are you looking to go play in college someplace?
Yes, sir. Definitely starting to narrow down my schools and see where I want to go, and my career will continue. So.
Now, you recently got to go to the Mr. and Miss Basketball Awards ceremony up in Lexington. Tell us how that kind of went.
It was great experience, great interactions with other players from across the state. Really enjoyed talking to a couple different guys and exploring their situations with their teams and stuff, so it was definitely great. So.
Daniel, we don't get to see Caldwell County and Mr. Basketball mentioned in the same sentence a whole lot, so that had to be a pretty neat experience for you and the rest of the coaches.
It was cool for us. All of our families went up there as well, and Jay's family was there, and to have a couple former players there. Russell was there, and Coach Oliver obviously played first year here. I was here, and to have those guys up here and just be fans. We were there as fans for Jay, and to see him walk across the stage and get recognition that was well deserved, and then it was just pretty cool. And then they announced there, which was going forward, they're all the candidates for Mr. Basketball will go to Center College and they will try out, and then they'll put together a team to compete in the Kentucky-Indiana All-Star Game.
Okay.
So Jay's got that to look forward to, as well as he's already been selected to play and represent Kentucky in the Kentucky-Ohio All-Star Game, which will be I think the last part of spring break. So he gets to wear the high school uniform, if you want to put it that way, for a few more games, hopefully, and then can see where he lands for next year.
Well, such a great season for you guys, and I really enjoyed it. And one thing kind of tickled me is we got to have pretty much a normal season. Kind of take it for granted sometimes, but after some of the things that have happened, that it was nice to be able to go enjoy a basketball game.
Absolutely. It was nice to see, and Jay mentioned earlier, the atmosphere of the West Kentucky Hoops Classic, to have, I'm not sure what the capacity was that we had in the gym, but it was full. And to have that atmosphere, and then we had several district tournament was at Caldwell, and to have, we had several gyms we played in that were full, and that's just it's the way it should be. It's a good atmosphere for high school basketball.
Well, a lot of people are coming out to see Jay play. I mean, that's it's when you've got Lyon County and Caldwell, and you got Jay Breon on one side and Travis Perry on the other. That's a big draw.
Absolutely. And I think, that just kind of shows you, we talk about, obviously we have a lot of good young men on our team, but, right now, considering what he, just looking at stats and, the things that, and just specifically talking about Jay, and the other guys do a lot of stuff off the court too. But like he goes to our Youth Incorporated games and helps out. He went to, I think it was the 5th and 6th grade, played at their tournament at Lyon County, went down there and support them. And can't tell you how many gyms we've been to this year. It's happened. I remember seeing it at Hopkinsville most recently. Kids that I don't think that Jay even knew. They're just walking up, and I can see a little boy, and I can see their mom or dad standing there, and they're just kind of in awe looking at him like, can we get a picture with you? And it's really, really cool to see that, the impact that he's had on not only our community, but the communities around. And again, I go back to what I said at the very beginning. The college coaches and other high school coaches talk about, well, how's it to coach a player that has 31 points a game and 12 rebounds? And I'm like, that's fantastic. But his character and his what he brings off the court, the kind of person he is much far greater.
Well, you can tell what a player's teammates think about them when Jay would get 51 points or 40 whatever or 59. His teammates enjoyed that every bit as much as he did.
I think so too. I think it was like he said, the chemistry of this team was a good thing. We had a lot of younger guys, the Whittingtons and Xavier. They probably played just as many minutes as anybody else. That it was fun as a coach to watch. You go back to those. I think we had a 4-game winning streak and then a 5-game winning streak and another 4-1 maybe. And during those stretches to watch. And almost as a coach, it was almost like I was able to just kind of sit back and just enjoy. Even in timeouts, the good banter in the timeouts, between Jay and Carter and Colin and those guys, and just the communication there. It was really fun to watch.
Well, it was a really fun season. I'm glad you guys could come in and talk about it today. Jay, anything else you want to add?
No, not really.
Like I said, it was a great season and had a lot of fun, and can't wait to watch you play some basketball somewhere else.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Before I let you guys get out of here, how's your NCAA tournament brackets looking?
Well, the bracket I didn't turn in, I've got 15 to 16 teams in the Sweet 16, wow. So that gets me nothing. But, right now I'm pulling for Houston to do some damage, but actually it's hard not to pull for St. Peter's too.
Yeah. I've still got Gonzaga. What about you, Jay?
I got Purdue in my bracket, so yeah.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. Again, fantastic basketball season, and can't wait for next year.
Absolutely.
That's Daniel Cookie Hicko and Jay Breon Spikes. Also, thanks to Tori Hammond and Steve Cookie Hicko for coming in today. That's going to wrap us up this week on the Sideline Report. Don't forget baseball and softball teams in action today. The Tigers hosting Ballard Memorial out at the VFW ballpark. Lady Tigers hosting Fort Campbell over at Lady Tiger Field. And Caldwell County Tennis is at home today as well this afternoon, hosting Lyon County out at the CCHS tennis courts. Thanks for tuning in here on the Sideline Report. This is Todd Griffin. You've been listening to 1580 103.3 WPKY.
WPKY Princeton. Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Addressing a NATO summit, including President Biden in Belgium, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is again asking for more weapons to fight the Russian invasion. He said earlier to Sweden's parliament,
all of these war crimes have to be punished.